Honorable Motau.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, unemployment remains the greatest threat to South Africa's democracy and mocks the promise of a better life for all. President Jacob Zuma's State of the Nation address showed why South Africa does not have confidence in its government to create jobs. Ba soba Afrika borwa ba lla megokgo ba llela mishomo kgopelo ya ka ke gore rena re le baemedi ba setšhaba parlamenteng ye re kwe sello se sa bana ba rena ge re ka se sekwe ra ba thuša gore ba gotše mešomo gona naga ye ya gabo rena e tla buna masetlapelo gomme democracy ye ya rena ya folotša. The National Commission believes that the country can create 11 million jobs by 2030. This would be achieved by building partnerships between the public sector, business and labor to facilitate, direct and promote investment in labor-intensive areas, and by strengthening the functioning of the labor market to improve skills acquisition, match job seekers and job openings, and reduce conflict. To achieve the objective of the NDP requires leadership to implement change and above all to inspire every South African to make medium-term sacrifices for longer-term rewards. The President's address last week failed by all three counts: leadership, implementation and the ability to inspire sacrifice. The National Planning Commission expresses the challenge of adaptive leadership very pointedly, and I quote, "Leaders, especially in government, must also face up to difficult decisions and trade-offs," close quote. Indeed, this is the time for tough decisions and trade-offs if we are to fight and defeat unemployment. This will require all of us to make sacrifices for the national good. We must review the labor laws to make them job creation friendly. One of the most meaningful definitions of inequality in South Africa today is between those who have a job and those who do not have a job. We need to guard against the employed being unable to imagine the plight of their fellow South Africans who do not have a job. As painful as it is, we need to recognize that the world has changed. Many workers in the European Union, for instance, are being asked to work fewer hours to allow young people to enter the job market. Global competition, cheap goods made in China and India, and technological innovation are also playing a part in changing the labor environment. And people are being given greater flexibility to manage their working time. Many working people no longer wish to be in traditional permanent employment. Our labor laws need to adapt to this growing trend, not to go against the grain of reality. As legislators, our primary role must be to make sure that all of these workers are treated fairly and paid appropriately. Honorable Deputy Speaker, in a job-stressed economy such as ours, it would be an abdication of responsibility for this Parliament to pass a law that denies even one South African a job opportunity. But this is exactly what the ruling party's alliance partner COSATU wants us to do. The Union Federation wants Parliament to pass a law banning private employment agencies, or as we like to call them, labor brokers. I believe such a law would clash directly with the constitutional push for every citizen to be able to access work opportunity. Section 22 of this document here, this is the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, is very clear on this matter, and I quote, "Every citizen has a right to choose their trade, occupation or profession freely. The practice of a trade, occupation or profession may be regulated by law," close quote. Deputy Speaker, the President must prevail upon the ANC alliance partner COSATU to support the regulation of labor brokers as proposed in the amendment to the relevant section of the Labor Relations Act. And the government must work diligently to remove non-compliant agencies. For the sake of labor market peace and stability, the Labor Relations Act must also be amended to replace the winner-takes-all majoritarianism entrenched in our collective bargaining system. The Marikana tragedy was a lesson we must heed. Non-majority unions can no longer be ignored. They must be included in the collective bargaining processes. So, let us never fear to negotiate. Let us negotiate, not out of fear. With cool tempers, we must reach consensus on the principle on non-majority union representation, and we must determine the relevant thresholds for recognition and participation in collective bargaining. This country cannot afford another series of very costly, violent, unprotected strikes such as the ones we experienced last year. South Africa can rise to these challenges if, and only if, we have the courage to summon forth the political will. And here I have to say, no amount of talking, no amount of spinning can explain away the scandal that is in Nkandla. No amount of praise singing and fawning on President Jacob Zuma will change this fact. I thank you.